My dear students, welcome to this edition of the histology of the lung, a production from VBS Anatoma, a series of e-learning lecture videos posted on YouTube. I'm Dr. Balasubramaniam. I work as professor in the Department of Anatomy here at St. John's Medical College, Bangalore, India. Now, this video is focused on the various cell types of the tracheobronchial tree. Uh, we have already seen three parts of the video of the histology of the lung, wherein we have traced the histology of the intrapulmonary bronchus, then the bronchiole, and then the respiratory portion of the lung. We have covered the entire histology up to the alveolus. But this particular video cuts across all these histological areas and concentrates on the various cell types. Therefore, some of the terminologies will be already familiar to you if you have gone through the previous videos. Details of the links to these videos are provided in the box in the description box. There is also a non-narrative version of the histology of the lung. I have provided the link for that also. Now take a look at this photograph. This is a high power view of the um, lung alveolar region. You can see um, the type 1 pneumocytes. Uh, they contribute to 95% of the alveolar epithelium, although they are actually only 40% of the cells in terms of number. Because they are flat and very extensive, they contribute to the uh, surface area, a large surface area. Now that is the typical feature of type 1 pneumocytes. Now being very flat, they ensure that they will be the ideal cell in terms of thickness to contribute to the air exchange across the alveolar wall. Those are the terminal type 1 pneumocytes. Very important points. As I already mentioned, extremely thin but very extensively spread out on the alveolar septa. Second, they form tight junctions with each other so that there is a complete barrier between the air in the lung and the uh, structures in the deeper core of the alveolar septum. Next, being very thin, there is additional mechanisms adding to this thinness of the alveolar septum. The basement membrane of type 1 pneumocytes is virtually plastered to the basement membrane of the capillary endothelium. As a result, it's a fused basement membrane. This reduces the thickness of the basement membrane and further enables more easy gas exchange. Next, we will look at a few more details of the intraalveolar septum in terms of cell types. You see, that's the endothelial cell of one of the adjacent capillaries. Yet another example of capillary endothelium. The endothelium is also very, very thin, and it's, as already mentioned, its basement membrane is fused with the adjacent basement membrane of the type 1 alveolar cell or the type 1 pneumocyte. Now, it's pertinent to recall these to have a view of the electron microscopic picture of this important junction, because this is the basis of the blood air barrier. You can see in this transmission electron microscopy, the cell marked in the red dashed circle, red white dashed circle, is a type 2 pneumocyte. I repeat, it's a type 2 pneumocyte. If you notice, it bulges into the lumen of the alveolus. I repeat, it's a large cell bulges into the lumen of the uh, alveolus. Although its number is much more than type 1, it is not as extensive in terms of covering the surface area, but its signature feature is it projects into the alveolar lumen. You can also notice that the cytoplasm is rich in secretory granules, which in this particular case is called lamellar bodies. As already mentioned in previous discussions, we need to recall that this particular cell type 2 pneumocyte secretes a surfactant, a lipoprotein based chemical which is responsible for prevention of collapse of the lung during normal lung activity. Now, this is a very important point to note. Very close to it, you can also see a capillary endothelium, and there is a small RBC there. Next, um, this is a scanning electron microscope showing the ciliated epithelium of the bronchiole. I repeat, there are most of the uh, apical epithelium that you see in this view, the scanning EM, is actually the apical surface of the cells. Therefore, the cilia of these cells are very clearly visible. Remember, at this stage in the bronchiole, we are still at the pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Now, those cilia are very clearly seen. In one corner, that is the down right corner, there is a small area where there are no cilia. That's most possibly a non-ciliated cell. I repeat, that's a non-ciliated cell with its microvilli. I repeat, with its microvilli. This is a very good SEM picture of a bronchiole. Now, very specifically, the type 2 pneumocyte can be identified using immunochemical methods. As also, its generally morphology, its signature is it projects as a small bulbous cell into the lumen, as I told you in the previous. But this one is an immunostain, which is particular for surfactant, and therefore the type 2 cells stand out as small blobs, dark stained blobs. These are the type 2 cells or the type 2 pneumocyte. This is a special stain, very beautifully seen. Now, this is yet another scanning electron microscope of a bronchiole. You can see the ciliated epithelium, the apical cilia of the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium is very clearly seen. And in the lumen, you can see there are occasional RBCs also here and there. Now, this is a semi-diagrammatic photograph where almost all the um, contrasting cell types are clearly visible. We are in the region of an interalveolar septum. I told you this is a semi-diagrammatic transmission electron microscopy photograph. First thing, we can see type 1 pneumocyte, fairly thin, and the cytoplasm is extended for a long distance on either sides. At the upper left corner is a type 2 pneumocyte. See the bulging cell into the lumen. You can also see the capillary endothelium in the lower part of the photograph. Most importantly, you can see the fused basement membrane of the capillary endothelium and the type 1 pneumocyte in the upper part of the photograph. Now, this is a very interesting slide. Um, Although it's an H&E stain, it really brings out the next cell type, namely the macrophages. And it looks like these macrophages have swallowed the RBCs that are accumulated in the lumen. RBCs can occur in the alveolar lumen for very many reasons. one of which is trauma, second, infection, pneumonia. Uh, Third, it can occur secondary to uh, a backlog and the back pressure. Let's say there is a heart failure and there is a excess backlog of blood in the lung intraalveolar septum. In that case, also you can see. Now, these RBCs get swallowed by the locally available macrophages, and that's how these macrophages have taken up some dark. Those are the material which are nothing but hemosiderin. That means the cells are being destroyed, RBCs are being destroyed in the macrophage cytoplasm. This is a very beautiful slide. Abundant macrophages are there. Next. It's time we viewed a macrophage in more detail under electron microscopy. Here is a transmission electron microscope of this macrophage. Um, As you see, the typical kidney-shaped large nucleus is very typical. There's plenty of mitochondria and lot of secretory granules. These are the things you will appreciate in this particular photograph, TEM lung macrophage. Next, there are certain other cells. We may not see goblet cell in the intraalveolar septum, but when you look at the tracheobronchial tree, these cells are quite huge in number in the upper parts of the tracheobronchial tree. And you can see the ghost-like appearance of these cells. They are wine cup shaped. Each cell has the shape of a wine cup. The nucleus is in the basal part. Below the nucleus, there is a small stem which goes towards the basement membrane. The large cytoplasmic region is in the upper part of the cell. Now, that's a feature of the goblet cell. Of course, it goes without saying the secretion of the goblet cell is the mucus. This goblet cell is particularly in the number and the activity is particularly increased where there is a chronic irritation of the respiratory mucosa, particularly in chronic smokers. Next, this is a very rare cell that is normally seen in um, physiologically normal lung. It's called the Kulczycki cells or a terminal. It's located among other places. This photograph, terminal bronchiole. These Kulczycki cells are neuroendocrine cells. Now, although this is a photograph from a tumor in the lung, it nevertheless brings out the salient features of this cell. Proliferation of these neuroendocrine cells within a terminal bronchiole. The growth is intraluminal and the whole thing forms a finger-like or a papillary projection into the lumen. That's the point you need to note in this neuroendocrine cell. These cells, to recall, you must have heard of APUD, system of cells in other system. This also gets classified into that group of cells. Next, a little bit in detail about a few of these cells, the neuroendocrine cells. You can see dot-like staining along the nuclear membrane. I pointed 3 blue arrows with a prominent head. The tip of the arrowheads are showing those dot-like staining, which is a characteristic feature just beneath the nuclear membrane. This is one of the characteristic feature of these cells. Here, this is an example of small cell carcinoma, a type of neuroendocrine cell tumor. Now, that was an overview of the features of the cell types of the lung. Of course, I have not gone into finer details of the other cell types like the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium or the Clara cells. Remember, Clara cells are have been discussed in the previous one. They are best seen in the respiratory bronchiole. They form a large component of the respiratory bronchiole, and the best way to distinguish it is they are non-ciliated cells. We saw that in one of the electron microscopy. Then there are cells like brush cells and basal cells, Brush cells are closely related to sensory feedback. That means it's probably a nerve cell. Uh, and the basal cells are closely related to regeneration of the other cell types. Now, that is an overview of the uh, cell types of the tracheobronchial tree. I hope you have benefited from this discussion. And if you have liked it, you have the option of subscribing as well as uh, hitting the bell for periodic updates of new uh, videos that are posted on this channel VBS Anatoma. Thank you.